Are you thinking of studying in Canada in 2025? Well, I might not have all the answers to all the questions you might have right now, but I certainly have 5 smart reasons why you should choose Canada as your study location in 2025. I am Mara. I moved to Canada in 2022 from Nigeria to pursue my master's education, and I can tell you boldly that that is one of the best decisions I ever made. In this video, I'm going to be giving you 5 reasons why Canada remains one of the top destinations for studies, and it might just be perfect for you. If you do end up finding this video useful, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel. Let's get into it. The first point on my list is the postgraduate work permit opportunity that you get once you study in Canada. So as international students, if you're coming to Canada to pursue your master's degree, diploma, certification, PhD, once you're done with your education, the Canadian government gives you work permit, PGWP. It is the postgraduate, meaning that you have just graduated in Canada. That way, you are able to work full-time in Canada once you graduate. And if you have interest in pursuing the permanent residency in Canada, then you have the opportunity to work to gain the experience to apply for your permanent residency. This depends on the program that you did. I did a master's degree I completed in 2 years. So when you do a master's degree that you complete within 18 months to 2 years, you will get the 3 years postgraduate work permit. There are also courses that you do that, you don't do them up to 2 years. Let's say your program was a certification course that just required you to do it for 8-9 months. The Canadian government would also give you postgraduate work permit that is as long as the duration of your program. Sometimes it might just be for 8 months, but usually it is never more than a year if you did a program that is less than a year. Immediately I was completing my program, I applied for the postgraduate work permit and I got a 3 years postgraduate work permit, which has enabled me to stay in Canada, work while I get Canadian experience. PGWP program, simply put, is a smooth pathway for students to transition into skilled workers in Canada. I'm going to put the link that will take you directly to read more about the PGWP program in the description box. The next point I have for you guys here is what I think is the most interesting part and something that really helped me a lot as a student, is the ability to work while you are still a student. Okay, that is something I really love Canada about, and they're also pretty much flexible with the hours. Sometimes you are limited to a certain number of hours, but some years the government can just be like, okay, students can work for unlimited hours. That was my case in 2023. Towards the end of 2023 to 2024, they had such policy. However, currently, international students in Canada are only allowed to work for 24 hours outside campus. If you're coming here to study, you are only allowed to work outside campus for 24 hours in a week. If you have multiple jobs outside campus, you cannot exceed a cumulative of 24 hours working those jobs in a week. But I'll give you guys tips that can help you navigate, which was something that I did. So if you're a student, I always preach that you should go for on-campus jobs. Look for on-campus jobs. With on-campus jobs, you can get more hours. The government, they don't count on-campus jobs. Okay, so if you get a job in your campus, in your university, the government, they don't care. Even if you want to work 20 hours, 40 hours, they would not bother you. Okay, although in most cases some of those jobs wouldn't even give students up to 40 hours. Sometimes they might just give you 24. But if you're working 24 hours within the campus and you're working 24 hours outside, that is a decent number of hours for a student to work. As a matter of fact, if you work more than that, you might just break down. I have shared some of my stories here on this channel on how I was able to work and pay my tuition. I will link that video here if you want to see it. I talked extensively about working in Canada, hours, and ways that you can actually earn more as a student. So make sure to check that video out. My next point again is something that I think is very interesting, because I know that most immigrants coming into Canada now, and for a decent number of people that I met in my journey, are coming here for the possibility of getting permanent residency or even becoming citizens. And this styles really well with the first point. So in Canada, there are multiple pathways for you to get your PR. So it doesn't necessarily have to be one way. There is what we call the PNP pathway. That is the provincial nomination program. Let's say you schooled in Ontario, you did everything in Ontario. Once the province nominates you, it kind of skyrockets your points in the pool. So that brings you closer to attaining permanent residency, even if you don't have a very high point in the express entry queue. Talking about express entry, there is also express entry. You can explore that route as well. As a student, you're also allowed to come here with your spouses. That is also something that I think that is very, very interesting with the Canadian government. Canadian government is very keen on family growth, family building, companionship. So they try as much as possible to provide programs that would enable people to come to Canada, you know, with their spouses. Even though you're coming to study, right? You don't have to leave your spouse behind for a period of 4 years that you'll be here for your, you know, degree if you're coming for bachelor. So that is also something that is very interesting. Not just your spouses, you can also come with your kids. But keep in mind that terms and conditions apply to these ones as well. If you come here with your spouses, or if you even meet a spouse here, you also have the opportunity to explore the spousal route for your permanent residency. Moving to the fourth point, high quality global education. There is no school that you go to in Canada that is bad. There are colleges, there are universities, there are polytechnics, top notch. I did my master's degree in the University of Regina, Saskatchewan, and I tell you, the experience was very practical. It was very hands-on. I feel like it was just a rich experience for me, you know, having to be in that classroom and learn from renowned tutors and instructors. Do you know the most amazing thing about this? Many programs now involve co-op and internships. Everything I share, like I always say, for the most part, 90% of the time, I've had the experience. And I was also a co-op student during my student time. So what co-op means, it's just more like internship. You get placed in a company or organization that is at least close to what you studied in school, so that you can get hands-on experience and work experience that can actually, you know, prepare you into launching into that career of your choice. And the most amazing thing about it as well is that some of those organizations would end up keeping you. I was, you know, very lucky with that. The place where I did my co-op, I was retained. So it helps you, you know, cope the stress of job search as a student. If you're watching this video now, you're already in Canada, or you're planning to come to Canada, or even, you know, at the verge of applying for the admission, ask them, do you know whether or not my program involves co-op or internship? You know, some of them would, and some of them, you know, just wouldn't. And it's also okay, because I feel like opportunities are endless as long as you're seeking them. The fifth but not the least point here is that Canada is so welcoming and so diverse. I know that you might have heard a lot of creators that are based in Canada say that Canada is very welcoming. It is a country that you come to and you don't immediately feel like you had just moved to, you know, a new place. I think the way people treat you here kind of makes it feel really at home. I really felt so at home when I moved here. Of course, the environment is not exactly the same, but the people, the diversity, the culture. From my personal experience, most of the workplaces and the people I've had interactions with in Canada, they're very open-minded, they are very diverse, they are very eager to help, very welcoming, you know, just accommodating people. So that alone is a steal for me, because it's one thing to be in a country and it's another thing to actually feel like you belong in that country. If you found this video helpful, give me a like. If you know someone that is coming to Canada, or someone that is already in their process of coming to Canada, or someone that recently moved to Canada, share this video with them so that they will be inspired to know, yes, I made the right decision. Because I know that it's not an easy journey, and because I've experienced it, I want to give you my experiences. I want to share my experiences with you, just in case it makes your life a little bit bearable, a little bit, you know, easier during this journey of immigration and moving, because it is a huge journey. And because I've been there, I genuinely understand how it can be. Do not feel intimidated. Keep your head high. Trust God, believe God, remain positive. I have a lot of videos that will be helpful to international students, immigrants, or whoever is moving to Canada for the very first time. So ensure to go through my channel and find the one that fits you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.